Hey everybody, and welcome to Wild Game Wednesday. We're actually checking the temperature in our original Coolabuck Pro. We're so sold out of coolers right now that we've actually sold all of our own personal coolers, and we're using the old original. This thing's got to be 8 or 9 years old now. Coolabuck Pro unit that we first came out with. Got the old camo cover on it here. We've actually got a deer in here, and I want to talk to you a little bit about aging today. Aging on today's Wild Game Wednesday. I'm going to unzip here. I'll roll this back so you can see inside there, and you can see we got a doe hanging in here, and actually she kind of got shot a little bit hard there, and we ended up pulling her in half here with the hide ripper. But anyway, what I wanted to show you is you can see how dark this deer is getting to be. Now this deer was actually shot on Saturday, so today is Wednesday, Wild Game Wednesday. So she has been hanging in the Coolabuck now Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we're going on day number 5, and we're gonna get her out of there and we're gonna cut her up. So I'm gonna go ahead, shut the door now, keep all that cold air in there. And I wanted to talk to you about aging here, because that's our main topic here for Wild Game Wednesday. So when you're aging a deer carcass, we have to remember that two very important things are happening. Number one, that body moisture is evaporating out of the carcass. Now I'm not talking about that good, moisture that comes from fat content. I'm talking about gamey tasting body moisture. That's evaporating out of the carcass. Very important that you let that happen. The second thing that's happening is actually the muscle tissue is breaking down throughout the aging process. There's a change in there that occurs while the pH is changing. A little bit difficult to explain in this short video, but just understand that those muscle tissues are breaking down. Now the USDA has said that 3 days for every 100 pounds of carcass weight is ideal. So what I want to tell you about today is, I know some guys say, well, 3 days for every 100 pounds, but when I go to a dry aged steakhouse and it says 28 days, I'm going to let my deer hang for 28 days. Well, you've seen what happens even after 5 or 6 days, how dark it starts to get. So what I'm asking you to do today is to weigh the cost to benefit ratio, right? Cost to benefit ratio. What's the benefit of letting it hang longer and longer and longer and longer till you get mold forming on the outside of the carcass, right? What's the loss now? Now we've got to trim all that off the outside of it. We got to throw away a lot of good meat, right? And did the flavor change anymore? Did any body moisture evaporate out of there? Did the muscle tissues break down anymore? I don't think so. I think you just got yourself a whole lot more waste. So on today's Wild Game Wednesday, I want to talk to you about that. So, 3 days for every 100 pounds. So if you got your deer carcass hanging, it's 100 to 150 pounds. 3 to 5 days is going to be about ideal. It's going to give it enough time to let that body moisture evaporate out of the carcass. It's going to give it enough time to let those muscle tissues break down and get good and tender for you without giving yourself a whole lot of waste. So this has been this week's Wild Game Wednesday tip for you.